Alright, as you can tell by the title, we are making a drop-down table for the rear door. So this is just a scrap bit of metal that I've had powder coated. As you can see, it's got quite a few like little dings and stuff. It's not very pretty, so if you are wanting a pretty drop-down table, check out KAON. I'll probably like leave a link in the description because they're the ones that I'm sort of like getting this idea from. But this is pretty much what it's going to be like. It sits like this. Yeah, this is 980 long, while I think the KAON one is 1100. I'm not 100% sure. But it takes up a fair bit of my door. And when it drops down, it'll sort of be a little bit of a low table, but doesn't matter. So I've also got these bits of angle, and they're going to sit in here. I'll have a screw on the top and the bottom, and then the hole on here. And there's a hole there, and there's going to be a bolt that I put through, and that's sort of going to work as the hinge. The hinges won't work along here because it's like just a slightest little bit concaved. I don't know. I guess it's hard for you guys to see unless I bring the camera over here. But yeah, this isn't flat, so it would never really work. So this is why this is the way that we're going to be doing it. So let's see if this works. Alright, now, so I already have the hole of where the hinge part's going to be. I'm just going to drill like 2 little pilot holes in the center around about here, and then I'll use like a self-tapping screw to put them into place, and then if it's not strong enough I might put like an actual nut and bolt on it. These are the ones that I'm thinking of using, just like a little hex head one. If I can find some pairs. I know I should have like a heap of them. Oh, of course they're all different sizes. Yeah, so I'll try a few of these out, hopefully they'll work. We didn't need that anyways. That's fairly sturdy. I have the lock on the back of my door, but I'm actually surprised at how, like, that's not really coming off. So I guess they work well. I might powder coat them black, obviously, so they look a little bit nicer. And we'll just double check. Yep, this is 980. It should hopefully have a pen. Drill some pilot holes into this one as well. Okay, now the bolts. I would seriously lose my head if it wasn't on my head. Alright, so now I've drilled 2 pilot holes on this one and I've got some tape sticking it into place. I've got my table and I'm sort of just measuring, like, it's going to be pretty much dead on perfect there. If I can line that up and drill it right. So, should probably actually make sure if that looks level or not. I don't know how to 100% mark that, but I'm guessing that's about 40 up. That's about 45 up. Probably drop it a little bit. Now let's see if it still lines up. I gotta say, things never actually usually work for me the first time, so although I'm happy, I'm waiting for there to be some sort of measurement here that I'm not thinking of right now. Well, not measurement, but something that's not going to be 100% correct. So we'll drill out these holes a little bit bigger to make room for the bolt. Before I put that one in, I want to make sure that it's obviously not sticking out on a bit of an angle and fairly straight. So I'm able to screw that in, fold it up, and I can find out the perfect spot for that. Okay, so I very badly just like grinded away the corners a little bit, just because as it's like rotating like that, just like the very tips of the corners are getting getting stuck. So I'm hoping that if I put this in now, it should work. I probably could take a little bit more off, like I feel like the left hand side's not going to work. But we don't have a very good grinder here, it doesn't have a guard on it, I don't have safety glasses, so it might be a work problem. So that's pretty much what the table's going to look like down. I think that would fold up, but that's actually not too bad. So I was just going to get that there like that, and I'll swap this out. I'm actually super stoked that that worked. I did not think that it'd actually look that decent. So alright. Any more? Holy shit, I did not expect that to work. Alright, so the next step is we're gonna find, oh look, we don't even need a lock for it. Gonna like put some holes in here, and then I'll like put some string. Actually, that's staying pretty decent. Obviously, like I know I can't have any weight on it like that, but I'll put that up a little bit. Now the only other problem that I'm actually worried about is my drawers, them shutting. When I put my drawers in, I always had in the back of my mind that I wanted to put like a little drop down table in, so I did push them back a little bit further than what I would want. So look, this is already dinged, so if it gets dings on it, I guess it's not too bad, but we'll just see if it shuts. Well, that seems promising. I'm gonna like jump around the boot and see what it looks like. That's perfect. There's still like a finger gap in between that and the drawers. So, don't know if I should use string or like a wire string or something. I don't actually know, but damn. And I'll need like a little lock thing for this. But I'm happy with that. I know that's like not exactly how it's gonna sit. It's just sort of loosely in there, but I've just got a bit of string. I don't know if I'll actually use this one or if I'm just gonna like leave it like this temporarily and find a bit of a stronger one. But the plan is to do something along the lines of that, so it doesn't open up any more past that point, because see how like it drops that last little bit. So I'll put that in there like that. Might drill a hole in here and on the other side, and we'll see if that holds up and supports the weight. And drilling through stainless steel is hard too.
Who are you talking to?
The camera. Just put a little bit extra. Probably won't look too pretty, but it isn't pretty anyway, so just like that. And I don't know exactly where this level. Let me change them a little bit. This is the ending of what it looks like. That was just a bit of rope and I put a knot in there. I put a knot in up at the top, and if I shut it, you can see that sits nice. It's fairly flush along the angle there, and the exact same on the other side. I've just done the knot there, and this is sort of like the hinge part. I'll show you a close-up. It's all it is just the nut and the bolt, and the way that this folds on it, bends. I could probably take a little bit, grind a little bit more off on that angle. I'll make it look a little bit prettier. And then this is what I was saying about how the door sort of concaves in. That's why you can't have a piano hinge or just a normal hinge running along there. So that's what it looks like. There's a fair bit of room in there still. But yeah, that's the main reason as to why you can't put hinges along here, because yeah, it would never really work 100%. So that's the little hinge there, just nut and bolt. That's the table. Put it up. Might get a nice little sticker collection going. All my stickers, instead of chucking them on the window, I might start chucking them on here. But yeah, this is going to be nice and handy just for like putting small things. It won't be anything too heavy. Like these nuts and bolts weigh a fair bit, and that's holding that alright. I'll chuck my drill on there. I probably won't put my barbecue on here. I don't know if I'll fully trust it with the weight of barbecue, and just in case it falls, won't be a good idea. But yeah, I like my cheese and crackers, so this will probably just become a cheese and cracker table. But yeah, overall, very happy with that. I honestly did not expect it to work the way it did. Like, normally whenever I DIY things, there's a lot that goes wrong. But for the first time ever, this actually worked first time. And I did it in like about an hour, so pretty good. It did take me a long time to grind back this bit of metal to how it is. I'll maybe add some photos in the very end so you guys can see. These are the only photos that I have of it before I started powder coating. As you can see, it was in fairly rough shape, and it did have a few extra little angles welded onto it and some little tabs off the side, so I did have to grind them off. That took a little bit of time. But that's what it looked like after it got sandblasted and after I'd ground everything down, so it looked 10 times better. It wasn't all burnt and didn't look as bad. Yeah, so just had to grind those little tabs down. The length of it again was 980 long, and then I made it 470 wide, and the little folds that were already on it were 20 mil wide. So I probably wouldn't have been able to make the table as good if I had to fold it myself, so I was just glad that it came sort of pre-folded, and that's the only reason why it's a little bit smaller than the KAON one, is just because it already came with the folds and the length of it being 980, so I wasn't going to change that over just a couple mil or so. But yeah, it worked out fairly well. As you can see, that's the bit that I had to take off, and then after that it was sort of just smoothing down and grinding the edges to look good. So hopefully this is a little tutorial that was helpful for you guys. I don't know if it was, but it didn't cost me a cent to make, just my time, so pretty happy with that. Hope you guys enjoyed.